Before I start my commentary on this recent situation with this young lady, I believe her name is Yada Iman, something along those lines. I'm not really sure what her name is, which is at this present time is really not important. The situation that she caused is why I'm making this video, and for reasons followed. And before I also want to get before I get into my commentary on this situation, I want to let it be known. I want to put it out there as a disclaimer that this is not a gender war channel. This is not a bash black women channel. I love black women. A black woman brought me in this world, and one day I'm gonna marry a black woman and hopefully have a beautiful black daughter. I love black women. It's the only thing that I would ever say, will you marry me too? Um, so this is not a bash black woman video. That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. I want to be clear, because in our community, in the black community, which is one of our main issues of many, we hate accountability and we hate when somebody is telling us the truth. The truth will set you free. But because us as black people have a very, very low emotional IQ, when someone tells us something, if it goes against the way we feel, we will shun that person. And as Matthew 7:6 say, we will trample over those pearls and turn around and attack the person. That's why that scripture says, don't cast your pearls to swine. We very bad with saying, you know what, this is our issue. We need to fix it, because until you understand that there's an issue, you have no way. You until you understand that there's a problem, you can't even begin the process of fixing it. And that's one of the main things. This is why I despise people like Obama. This is why I despise people like LeBron. This is why I despise people like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. This is why I despise all these quote unquote so-called black leaders. This is why I despise some of these liberal black pastors. Not all of them, but the liberal black pastors. This is why I despise most members, if not all of the members of the Democratic Party who so-called care about black people. Even the scriptures tell us, God said that he disciplines the ones he loves. And if you're a good parent, you're going to discipline your children because you love them. And you understand that if you don't discipline them and you coddle them in their wrongdoing, not only is it gonna make you look bad as a parent, but it's gonna grow with them, and eventually they're gonna get themselves into a situation where they can't get themselves out of, whether it be death, prison, or something that's bad gonna come out of you never holding them accountable. And our so-called black leaders and members of the Democratic Party who so-called love black people, but of course, if you listen to my videos, you know they hate black people. They never hold black people accountable. It's always an excuse for why black people have bad behavior. It's never like and I got a video about that on my channel, like black people special or something. Like we special ed, we retarded or something. We never held accountable for the things that we do. And is that helping us? Of course it is. And it's not going to help anybody. And like I said, what it's going to do is it's going to spiral out of control. And that's what we have today in the black community. Not all, but some. And so in this video here, you have a young lady who, of course, didn't have a father in her life. It's very, very clear that she did not have. I would be willing to bet. I don't know this. This is not something that have came out. But just by her reacting the way that she did, it says a whole lot about her parenting. Her mother probably was imposing her will on her. You can see this young lady has a lot of anger in her. She has a lot of self-esteem issues. She has a lot of issues that everything starts in the home. So if she even raised, because a lot of these children around her age, they wasn't even raised by their parent, they were raised by their grandparent. But let's just say she was raised by her parent. 9 times out of 10, she didn't have a father. I would be willing to bet everything I own and go on in the future that she was not raised in a household with her father. And her mother is a bad parent, or whoever her legal guardian is a bad parent, and this is why things like this took place. But I got 2 videos, 2 exhibits that I'm gonna play during my commentary. Of course, I'm gonna chime in while they're playing, and I'm gonna play the longest one first. And the main issue with this video is what it says about a certain type of people, what it says about quote unquote black women, right? Now, we understand that all black women ain't like that. It's never all of nothing. But we understand for the most part, and I'm not, I'm a black man. I know what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter if they're in the projects with 3 or 4 baby daddies or they in Harvard. Because if you don't know, this young lady is graduating as a surgeon. So, allegedly, what I heard. But they in Harvard with the same type of mindset and the same type of foolishness. Why is that? Because it's a spirit. It's a spirit that's on the black women because of how they're being raised in these toxic matriarchal households without a man to disciplinary them as a youth. And when I say disciplinary, I'm not talking about beating them. I'm talking about just having a man in the house is a disciplinarian factor to the children. Because a lot of times the mother isn't, well, I'm not going to say a lot of times, the woman is not a disciplinarian figure. She's not a structural figure. She's a feeling about emotions. She's a nurturer. Not saying she's under the man. She is the man is the head, but it's not about, the man is greater than the woman. The man just have his position and the woman has her position. The same thing, the same way the children need structure and discipline, it's the same way they need nurturing. So the mother and the father is equally important to the child. And if one is missing, the child is going to be chemically imbalanced. And we know that in the black community, which is, like I say, the number one problem in the black community is fatherless homes. 70% of our children are being raised without a father. That number is crazy. I didn't pull it out of my backside. Google it. And that alone is why you see the problems that we have in our community, because when a child is raised without his father, that comes with a string of other issues. Not to mention a lot of these mothers that's raising them are angry for all kind of different stuff, whether it be too many broken hearts, whether it be raising kids on your own is not easy, man. That is not easy. They have to work all these hours, and there's just so much going on, and it leaves them angry and bitter. And majority of them didn't come up with a father, and they repeated the generational curse cycle. So like I say, I always tell people, I don't bash black women. Because in order for me to bash black women about their behavior, I would have to bash black men, which is I do. The problem in the black community is not going to be fixed by the black woman. Of course, she has to be a part of it, no doubt. Because as I said before, when a black woman is in her right mind, which is a lot of these women not, they're liberal. When a black woman is in her right mind, she is essential. So as the black community begin to get fixed and begin to walk into our promised land, it's not going to be the woman as the head. She's not going to be in front of that revolution. It's going to be a black man. So this is why with great responsibility comes great, with great power comes great responsibility. So as the man being the head, I got to give him the ability, I got to tell him that it's his fault the black community is in the shape it's in. Because for one, if the black man would turn back to the Most High and his laws and commandments, not the preacher, not no religion, not Allah, not none of this foolishness, but would turn back to the Most High and his laws and commands, God would give him the wisdom and the power to take his promised land. Therefore, the black women would follow. But because the black man is not doing that, and he's worshiping celebrities, he's worshiping athletes, he's worshiping preachers, he's worshiping every other thing but God, the one and true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because he's going against God and because he's going against God's commandment, the God has allowed the black woman to rebel against him. And God has allowed the child to rebel against the mother. And so this is why we have the situation that we have going on in the black community. When a child is raised without his father, especially a young boy is like a lion. He got to be tamed, man. And after about the ages of 5, It's nothing. Or I'm gonna push that to 8 or 9 or 10. But it's, in this generation, children is learning so much, so fast. By the time they 8 or 9 or 10, some people would say 5. There's nothing else the mother have to teach or give the young man. He need his father, right? And because a lot of these young men, 70% of them are growing out without their father, they overly emotional like their mom. The anger that the mother has been imposed on them. So they go in the streets with other young lads and just like them. The anger comes to a head. The overly emotion comes to a head. And what happens? It's shootouts. It's gangs. It's murder. I don't have to talk about black on black crime because everybody listening to this know about it. Right? This is why a lot of these young men is getting killed by police. Why is that? Because they never used of a man raising his voice, giving them direct verbal orders. So when the police do it, they automatically get overly emotional, like mama. And next thing you know, because the cop is in fear of his life, because what he see on TV, he not black. He don't know black people like that. All he see is black people killing each other, rapping about it. All he see is chaos when he see black men. So he's scared for his life, and he got to make it home to Karen. So now a bullet come out his gun in your head, and you dead now. So I always tell people, the number one problem, we have a lot of issues in the black community. I always use the analogy of the black community being a house. The white supremacy and the white man and all that stuff, that's the leaky faucet. Is it a problem? Maybe in some situations. But for the most part, it's not holding us back and it's not a problem. What they is doing is capitalizing off our foolishness. Capping off our need for validation. That's what they doing. They not holding. This ain't the 60s. This ain't the 50s. This ain't the 40s. This ain't slavery. This ain't Jim Crow. We got full control of our destiny. So what the white man and everybody else is doing is capitalizing off our lack of knowing who we are. But going back to using the house as the analogy, using the black community house analogy, the leaky faucet is white supremacy, police brutality, and all that. The fire in the bedroom is abortion, black on black crime, fatherless homes. That's the fire in the bedroom. That's what's tearing the black community apart. So going back to this original subject, you know, I've heard black women say several times, that, oh, the white woman wasn't here as long as me and she got promoted. The white one, I'm overqualified, but they promoted the white woman. Well, those situations are caused because of situations like this. Then you have black women to want to say, oh, we feel you. We know how you feel being a black woman. But this will be the same women who will make those cries that I just said. Oh, we don't get promoted like the white woman. And the reason why, even matter of fact, I seen Rihanna recently stepped down from her company. I think it's called Savage Fenty. Correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments. But she had her own company, a $1 billion corporation that she built. And she was the CEO of it, but of course she on the way to having her second child, and I'm guessing she devoting herself to motherhood. She got all the money she need. And of course, like I say, she's the CEO of a $1 billion company. So I mean, you know, why not? She stepped down, and guess what she did? She gave it to a white woman. These type of situations happen that I'm about to speak on with this young lady. I think her name is Yadi or Kadia Iman. These type of situations is why people like Rihanna will pick a white person. I was listening to Dr. Umar Johnson the other day, and he was saying about how all these other races, whether it be the J-Man, the Arabs, the Asians, the white, whatever, who everybody else, they may hire different people, but when it comes to putting people in leadership, they always pick their people, right? And when it comes to black people, they pick other people as well. They won't pick their own. And the reason why people is very adamant about picking a black person to run their company, because they understand that black people is very, very overly emotional. Because once again, 70% of them are being raised by women who is automatically by nature overly emotional. And so they not putting these, and it's not a race thing. It's not racist. It's not, like I say, Breonna just did it. But the reason why black people and other people don't want to hire black people because they understand that black people have a low IQ, a low emotional IQ, and their overly emotion can cause them and their companies to be in all kind of negative situations. This young lady here, because she has anger in her, because she's entitled, um, she just ruined and made a scene at a graduation. This was a graduation. Graduating from college, something I never accomplished. But graduating from college, man, is a huge accomplishment in your life. To make it through college, you're an adult. Really, I say in your 20s is your adult teen years, so you can do whatever you want. You still very adolescent, wet behind the ears, and to make it through college without getting pregnant or making a mistake that costs you your college situation, to graduate is great. And like I say, from my understanding, she's a surgeon, so she went for a little while. So this is a great accomplishment, not only for you, for the other people there, but you warned it. Because people just don't want that. That's a negative interest. That's energy. I mean, her attitude and that little 5-second tirade that she went on just dropped the whole vibration of the whole graduation. And everybody gonna always, whoever got this on tape for years to come, this is never gonna go away. Especially living in the age of internet, this is never gonna go away. Everybody gonna always talk about the other race, because these other races of people sit back and who cares what they say? But I'm just saying, you may say, well, who cares what they say? Who cares what other races say? What you gotta understand is, as of right now, the other races are the ones who in power. They the ones who run this economics ish. They the ones who hire and fire. So when you look at stuff like this went nation. Everybody know about this. And this is why, and they say to themselves, man, I don't want this woman working for my doctor's office. Because she might have an episode, and her episode might cost my doctor's office or hospital litigation. Because she clearly cannot control her emotions. She couldn't control her emotions at a graduation, one of the biggest days in her life. Who said that she can control her emotions on my job when she having a serious breakup with her boyfriend or her husband? Who's to say she gonna be able to control her emotions when I promote somebody over her that's a different color? Who's to say she can control her emotions when a serious situation happened on a job? Because she couldn't control it at her graduation, one of the biggest days in her life. And of course, yes, she might grow up. But guess what? We have to judge her. This is a business decision. This is not racist. This is a business decision that this woman cannot control her emotions. And the issue with that is, what she do overshadows all of the great things that black women do. There's a lot of great black women. There's more. Well, I'm not going to say it's more, but there's enough. The reason why I'm not going to say more, because this seems to be the modus operandi for black woman behavior at this point. Everywhere you go, I'm as a black man, I've had issues. You go at the fast food places, you go at customer service and say in a Walmart or retail stores. Anytime there's a black woman there, not all, but most of the time, they're real nasty. And I'm not talking about sexually or hygienic wise. Attitude is what I'm speaking about at this moment. So the way this woman act has become modus operandi. And so this is why when you say black women will say, well, why I got picked over? Because the CEO of this company made that call. And although he know that you may be different. He know that. He know that this black woman may be different, but I can't take the chance because this is a $1 billion operation, corporation, hospital, whatever it is. Now, even in fast food, I've worked in fast food. Even in fast food, they will put the little girl that been there for a while. They'll give them managerial positions like the shift manager, the lead manager, store manager, and stuff like that there. But when you're dealing with GMs and regional managers, majority of the time, it's a white person. Why is that? Because they understand that these. I remember one time, matter of fact, give you a funny story. This is a funny story, and it's a true story. I was working at McDonald's a long time ago, right? And of course, if you go to McDonald's, you eat at McDonald's. You know that on the breakfast menu they have something called a breakfast platter. Now the breakfast platter comes with biscuit, sausage. No, it comes with biscuit, sausage, and eggs. And a yeah, biscuit, sausage, and eggs. That's what it comes with. But if you say the breakfast platter with hot cakes, it comes with biscuit, sausage, eggs, and some pancake. But if you don't say with hot cake, this is two different meals. They the same meal, one added with hot cake, one without. So one day they had a guy come through the driveway, and he ordered a breakfast platter, and he didn't get the pancake with it, so he came in. I wasn't on the headset, so I don't know what he ordered. All I do is make the food. So he comes. As a matter of fact, at this particular time, I was on break, and he comes and he says, "I didn't get my hotcakes." So of course, the woman at the desk, she didn't know what was going on because she the front desk woman. She don't work in the back to read the screen or here on the headset, and so she calls a manager. Manager comes out, and I don't know if she got a receipt or I don't know if she was going off with the person who took the order. Said I really don't really remember. 'Cause like I said, I was on break. But this black woman, young black woman, who was a manager of that particular shift, was going blow for blow verbally with this black man behind some pancakes. And if you worked in fast food before, you know that so much food is threw away every day during shifts and after shift. Because if it get to all food got a date on it, and you can't let it sit for a certain amount of time. You gotta throw it away. And as working at McDonald's during breakfast time, you switch over at 10:30 to lunch. I've threw multiple pancakes away. And that day, every day, you're going to throw multiple pancake, eggs, and all that away. That's just what it is. The customer is always right. And I'm not saying in all situations, but for the most part. And we know in business, that's a motto. As a manager, all she had to do was go get hot, even if he didn't add hotcakes. Sir, and we had white managers, but we had a white manager over there that day. Oh no, we did have a white manager over there that day, the GM. And so she came from the back because she heard them going back and forth with each other. She told her, she said, well, come on. And she said, well, she asked what was going on. They told her. And she said, okay, don't worry about it. Gave him the hot cake, man left. Simple as that. But the white woman had to come do that because this black woman, and once again, a lot of time, these things are happening because it wasn't about the pancakes. But what goes on is about the thing that they doing in their life. They came up in bad, corrosive, toxic homes. So that led them to be with toxic men, to be attracted to toxic men. And being attracted to toxic men makes them go through all of these emotional roller coasters. And, of course, they bring that energy to work. So the slightest little thing tips them over. This woman was literally from behind the counter going blow for blow with a man over some damn hotcakes. Because, first of all, if I was him, I wouldn't even did all that. Look, just sell me some more hotcakes. And she shouldn't have did all that. She should have just gave him the hotcake because they gonna have hotcake get through away. It's not that serious. But what she was doing was she was projecting energy that she already had inside her for whatever reason. Whether it was something she was going through with a boyfriend, which is at that point, I know that's what it was with her because I know the situation. But for the most of them, it's something that they dealing with from bad decisions that they done made. And like I said, they bring that to the workplace. And when you own a company, you can't have any type of thing going on at your business. You can't put any type of people in leadership because these people are representing your company and your company represents you. So let's just say you don't know who people, man, so many people going around the world today that's going through all kind of stuff. Going through, it's all kind of stuff going on in the world today. That was back then, but it's still, that's just the world. This dude could have grabbed her because she was a little short little thing. This dude could have grabbed her and took her from behind there and You know what I'm saying? Of course he went to jail, and of course he would have been wrong. But why is you going? First of all, why is you arguing with a man? Number one, and for two, over some damn hot cake that you don't have to pay for. Don't come out your paycheck. Just give it to him. He the customer. But once again, this is why I'm telling you why. This is why black women are always getting overlooked for situations when it comes to leadership positions. I've had my own situation. Every time you go to Walmart and deal with customer service, it's black women, and they always, once again, nasty attitudes. Always, not 100% of the time, but I would say 85 to 90% of the time. When you interact with these younger black women, you're going to have a nasty attitude coming from the other side of that headset or the other side of that counter. This is what it is. And why is that? Once again, because of the situation that they grew up in and the situation that they're attracted to right now. And so in this situation, and then that's another reason why I'm using this situation. Because when all else fails, guess what they do? You know what they do? They blame racism. And what my issue with that is if you're gonna blame racism, it's to the point now where saying something is racist is almost like crying wolf. Because that's what it's all. If anything don't go your way because it's your own personal decision, is racism. So of course she plays the race card. But what I'm gonna show you, like I say, that's why I didn't jump and speak on this, because I wanted to let all of the facts come out. And now that all of the facts out, I said I'm gonna make the video and I'm gonna give my commentary and reaction to it. And of course, what I'm about to do is I'm gonna play Exhibit 1, and of course I'm gonna chime in. But this is what really happened. This is what really happened.
Okay, let's go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my.
She could have shook that woman arm out of place, hurt that woman arms or finger. The woman could have, anything could have happened. But because she have no discipline, because she have anger in her system from the way she was raised, because she doesn't have a father, that happened. That situation happened, and whatever came from it and whatever gonna come from it is undoable because it's already done now.
My name is and I'm graduating today. Oh my God, you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is gonna be all about me.
Look at these people. These people are looking at her like, what? Are you serious? Did you just ruin my child? You got people, these foreigners. Like I say, it's not about these people it's not about worrying about how these people feel about us and validating us. They own every damn thing. They the ones who we need to hire us when we get in these positions, because we don't own nothing. And we not trying to own nothing. We too busy buying foreign cars, jewelry, and buying stuff from people that we so-called don't like to impress people that don't care about us, to compete, to flex on our own people. We buying all this stuff from all these other people. That's why I say these other races of people is not holding us back. We got the influence and the money, the buying power to be at the top of the economic pole. But because we don't know who we are, because we need self-validation, because we need to be validated by everybody else, we spending all our money with the Arabs on jewelry, the Asians on jewelry, the people with the foreign cars. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with purchasing these things, but I'm just using it for what I'm saying. We could come together collectively and start building our, and I always speak about this in my videos, black generational community wealth. And what I mean by black community generational wealth is not generational wealth for just your family, but generational wealth for people who look like you. Why is that important? Because you can be, say, for instance, you a Johnson, and you got billions of dollars. You created generational wealth that's going to last 4 or 5 generations. What happened when they get to that 5th generation and that generation don't know what to do with the money and they blow it? Now they got to start over from scratch. The reason why that doesn't happen to these other people in America is because they own everything. So even if they ruin the generational wealth that was set before them from their family, they can easily go to a company, and because the person who look like them owns that company, they can get another shot. You feel where I'm at? You with me? So this is why we have to not only focus on generational wealth in the black community, we got to focus on community generational wealth. You got black players in the NBA and NFL got $100 million contract, $200 million contract. These rappers, but guess what? They can create black owned and operated organizations. They can do it. They got the money, and then black people, we got the influence. Everybody want to be black. Everybody want to adopt black children. Everybody want to be a part of the black culture, quote unquote. Right? And so, look how these people looking. These people got their phones out, their camera, because they proud of their children. It's graduating from college, and this woman just ruined their moment, and her moment as well.
She was pulling the mic down super fast for some black people. I don't want to be that person, but. Big up Jamaica! John Booth, Amy Gomez, Angelica Kiara Villar, Nina Agulelo, Amoya Doyley, Alessandra Robinson, Janelle Wellington. So that video is a little hard to watch, but I too graduated from LaGuardia Community College yesterday, class of 2023. I was there. Everyone had the opportunity to say their first and last name. No one said anything more. No one said anything less. The young lady, I understand it was her moment. I feel like she went around about that the wrong way. No one was discriminated against. No one was racially profiled. No one was trying to discriminate against her. And to be totally honest, she handled this very poorly. I'm sorry that she felt like she had a bad experience, but this was the only issue all day yesterday. The ceremony was great. Everything else was great.
Basically, that's the furthest from the truth. Graduation went like this. I was in the graduation. I graduated with my graduation. Basically, there was two sections, Section A and Section B, and within those two sections, there was two long lines. And we were told to say our names when we approached the lady in the video, to say our names within the mic. But she didn't know any of our names to know whether or not it was long, short, how many siblings, X, Y, Z. She didn't know. To hold it a certain way, how long, none of that. So basically, there was people who did say other things extra other than their name, but they weren't just one race. There was a lot of people of all races saying other things other than race, but we wasn't told to say our major, any of that. We were just really told to say our first and last name. I also have said other things extra than my first and last name. I said I love my mama, and some girl before me who was also a chocolate girl said big up Jamaica. So I don't see where this, because we're black and all this other things that's coming into play. I also believe that she did that because it was a little white old lady. If it wasn't anybody else, I don't believe she would have done that. She would have took her L and would have walked if that was the case, if that really happened. Also, the mic was never handed to us for it to get snatched. The lady was going back and forth to each line, because remember there was two lines with a person, and going back and forth, going to each person like this to say their names. So it wasn't no pause for somebody to hold the mic to say their name, to take it back or anything. So she wanted her moment, she got her moment. That's what she was looking for, a moment.
There you have it. Before I play this next video, I just wanted to let that be said and shown. There's two other young black ladies, not white, blue, or green, but two other black ladies who was graduated the same day from the same college. One of them had proof, with her little, her little ribbon. And guess what? They said that everything this woman said was a lie, and yet you have all these people. I'm not gonna say their name, getting their name right now. And they came out defending her. I'm talking about famous people, and then of course, you had black women in the comments on the video when I first seen her on Instagram saying We get it. We understand how you feel as a black woman. Like, huh? Bad behavior has to get treated with bad criticism. We cannot reward bad behavior. And anytime somebody reward bad behavior, they telling you that they hate you. They telling you that they hate you. For them to reward your bad behavior, make excuses for it, they telling you that they hate you and they want you to keep doing that because they understand, as anybody understand, that if you continue to make bad decisions, it's not gonna end well. So let's play this next video from a brother. Shout out to this brother. I don't know his name, but I want to play this next video from this brother because he make a great point on why situation like this is bad for black people, other than all of the points I've made already. But he makes some other great points. So I want to let him play. Shout out to this brother, man.
Let's go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is going to be all about me.
This is a classic black victim mentality on display. The announcer at her graduation said her name wrong, and so she made her race thing, but I probably would have mispronounced it too. But this black victim mentality leads to worse outcomes for black people. It's a vicious cycle, and here's how it goes. Anything that happens to a black person is perceived as racism. Now keep in mind that whatever happened to the black person doesn't have to be racist, it's just perceived as racism. And then they play the race card and they start to overreact and make everything about themselves. Then they start to act uncivilized in places that require civility and decorum. But then people excuse this uncivilized behavior as an adequate response to racism. And so as a result, the standards for black people are lowered. It's kind of hard to expect greatness from people when this is the standards that you live up to. And then these steps are repeated, creating a vicious cycle that ultimately keeps black people as a whole down. And tolerating this behavior leads to worse outcomes for black people. But as always, if you found me profoundly insightful or at least a little bit appealing, give me a follow.
Shout out to this brother, man. Go follow him at ace.echoes on TikTok, man. He got a lot of great information over there, man. But man, yeah, I just wanted to add like, my commentary, my points to it. I think I pretty much exhausted all my points. And the point that he made, reason why I played his video, because he made some other point that's very, very great and valid that I didn't make. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we gotta do better, man. Because until we do better, nobody else gonna treat us better. So if you want to keep on hollering about why certain people kill us and this, that, and the third, well, y'all gotta stop killing each other. Who the hell gonna respect you if you don't respect yourself? Don't expect nobody to love you if you don't love yourself, right? I tell that to women a lot of time. You know, these women find all kind of, they look in the mirror and find all kind of stuff about themselves that's wrong. They have low self-esteem, but they want somebody else to love them. How can that happen when you don't love yourself? And so, you know, in these type of situations, man, it's not about trying to be white. It's not about trying to be this. It's about being civilized as a black woman and a black man, keeping your emotions intact. And if a situation do arise that you feel like unfair, you take care of it in a diplomatic way and not the way that black people are usually taking care of situations because they are overly emotional. Once again, because they were raised by their overly emotional mothers. And it's fine for a woman to be overly emotional, but it takes a man to balance that out. And if no man is in the home, you get situations like this. And so, like I said, we have to get ourselves together. We have to respect ourselves because, as a matter of fact, she disrespected herself. She embarrassed herself. If that was my daughter, I would be. If that was my sister, and if she was kin to me, if she was my friend, I would be embarrassed to claim her because that was an embarrassment. She went on her day that she on one of the biggest days of her life. It's gonna always be looked at as a negative, not only to her, but hell to everybody else that went there. Everybody that day 20 years when they showing this graduation to their children, she gonna be on there acting like a complete fool. So in conclusion, I'm gonna close this video out with this, man. Black man and black woman, respect yourself, love yourself, be civilized, be respectful to yourself. And that's the only way anybody else gonna do it. Because now this young lady is gonna have a hard time getting a job because not only is other people not gonna want to hire her, hell, whatever profession she in, I wouldn't want her around my business because clearly she is not controlling her emotions. She does not have self-discipline. I'm not dealing with that foolishness. You're not coming in my company and give my company a bad name because one bad experience from you, because you had a bad day with your boyfriend, because a situation happened and you couldn't handle pressure and you overreacted. This woman is gonna have a hard time, and she deserves it. Now, 5 or 10, maybe 20 years down the line, she gonna look back and say, "Man." But as of right now, she not feeling that way because nobody is telling her that. Maybe people behind closed doors. I'm sure if she got a family member that love her, they telling her, you was wrong for that. But you got people on mainstream media who is basically saying, "We understand, we get it, we know how you feel," giving her clout, giving her a name, giving her a face for a bad situation, for bad behavior. So I want to thank y'all for watching it. Thank y'all for listening. Like, comment, subscribe your thoughts on this. And I'm out.